This video should have been made after UFC Saudi Arabia card, but I'm making this video out of respect to Robert Whittaker. This man is one of the most inspiring in the UFC. We all love champions. We all love someone who never loses, like Khabib Nurmagomedov, like someone who is undefeatable. These are the type of people we usually praise. These are the type of people which are our inspiration in our lives. But do you know what's more inspiring? Someone who is getting beat up and then coming back again and again. Even though he's getting knocked out, even though you had a couple of setbacks, you're still recovering and you're still performing and you're winning and you're overcoming your fears, you're overcoming your obstacles. These are the sort of people that inspires me personally the most, and these are the sort of people I think are more inspiring as compared to those champions who never lose. Now I will talk about his story, how he came back when no one gave him a chance. We saw Robert Whittaker lose against someone who was looking like we may say that Israel Adesanya, because of course his certain things, certain behavioral patterns, certain things, that certain life choices that he does are questionable. That's why we forget that this man, Izzy Adesanya, was someone who was the next generation, passing of the torch, passing of the baton. Because when Robert Whittaker lost that fight in UFC Australia, I think it was Adelaide somewhere, when Adesanya knocked out Robert Whittaker in the second round, he also knocked down Whittaker in the first round, which just ended up like the buzzer was there, like it was the end of the first round, and then he knocked out Robert Whittaker in the second round. It felt like, many people won't accept this, but it just felt like passing of the torch. It just felt like Adesanya was someone who is from this next generation of mixed martial artists who are just better. You have to accept that this next generation is certainly the better than the previous generation, which was the generation of Robert Whittaker and all these other like Yoel Romero. Although Adesanya lost against Romero, that's a different thing. But it was like passing of the torch, the same way that we felt when Alex Pereira debuted, that he is the next generation, he will win however number of fights that he wants to win. So it just felt like that. But this is where the story restarts, because after losing to Adesanya, he went back and just won and won many fights. He defeated Jared Cannonier, he defeated lots of other contenders to win back another title shot against Adesanya. He won that fight. Nobody can argue that he didn't win. He won the rematch against Adesanya. I saw that match and I was like, Robert Whittaker, by his wrestling, by his takedowns, won this fight, even though just two takedowns were there. But the moment of those takedowns, when he took the back of Adesanya, I think he won that fight. But judges gave it to Adesanya, special privileges. I don't want to say it, but like it was like something special for Adesanya. So judges gave him that fight. Still, after that, Robert Whittaker tried to become champion, tried to become this title contender again and again. Obviously, that didn't went well. He lost against Dricus Duplessis, and that was a brutal knockout. That was a clear knockout. I mean, not knockout, but it was like technical knockout. So it was like end of the story. The Robert Whittaker story ends here, and I don't think he will ever become champion. So it is just like end of the story. But this is not the end of the story. Robert Whittaker fought again with Paulo Costa, and he won against Paulo Costa convincingly, I think. But it was a close fight, but he won convincingly 27 to Robert Whittaker. So Robert Whittaker won that fight 29-28, I think. Yeah, 29-28, Robert Whittaker. So Robert Whittaker won that fight, and then he took the hard route. This is another quality that I really want to appreciate of Robert Whittaker. He just takes the hardest fights possible for him. He took the fight that nobody ever wanted. He took a fight against Khamzat Chimaev, and then he won. He was like having this thoughts that this is the match against Khamzat Chimaev in his own background, although Khamzat Chimaev is from Russia, but it was like in UFC Saudi Arabia. He took that fight, and then what happened? suddenly Hamza Chimaev was like, I was ill. I don't know. I don't want to say bad things because, like he was he was ill. It was like literally shown everywhere that he was seriously ill or something like that. Whatever. He was this mixed martial artist who was having these fights regularly, and now he's nowhere to be seen. So that's a different story. I'm not going to blame him for that, but that's a different story. And after that, he accepted the fight against Ikram Aliskerov. And Ikram Aliskerov, mind you, after losing to Robert Whittaker, everybody's like, who is Ikram Aliskerov? Ikram Aliskerov has only lost to Hamza Chimaev. He lost that fight in Brave Fighting Federation, and that was a brutal knockout, by the way. But his only loss is against Hamza Chimaev. So it's like he was not someone who is washed. He's not someone who is not talented or something like that. I think he still belongs to the top level. So I think taking that fight was like accepting one of the, like, because it was also a change from Hamza Chimaev's style. Because Ikram Aliskerov, although everybody thinks like he's Russian, he's wrestler, everybody was thinking like he will just wrestle. I don't think so. I mean, Ikram Aliskerov is a good striker. So I thought that it was a very, very, like, 4 days or 5 days away from fight, you're changing your opponent, so it was really tough. But this was Robert Whittaker. He's not someone who's going to back down even after the change of opponent in such a fight that is such at, like, it was like his career was on the line. Although, like, it was not his career, but his career at a top, as a top middleweight, was on the line. But yet, these are the qualities like make me love Robert Whittaker, because Robert Whittaker is someone who just accepts difficult circumstances, and he is someone, even though he loses, he always comes back. This is why I really like Robert Whittaker. I really like the career trajectory of him, because it is more, I mean, we can relate more to such career trajectories, because other people who never lose are not simply relatable to us fans, because we are, maybe I'm a loser, but it's just like I can relate to Robert Whittaker more than someone like Khabib Nurmagomedov. So he accepted that fight, knocked out Ikram Aliskerov. Like, it was one of the most satisfying thing to see. Dustin Poirier, because this was the thing about my channel where I just predicted Dustin Poirier will knock out Benoit Saint Denis, and all these French people in my comment section just saying, no, you don't know Benoit Saint Denis, he's the next, like, next level thing, and just Dustin Poirier will get out wrestled or outboxed. I just said, no, Dustin Poirier is a good boxer. So this is the thing about my YouTube channel. I still one of the good videos on my channel, and I just said, bet me, to all the comments on my channel, bet me Dustin Poirier will win. And that was like one of the flex of my channel, where I just flex that, look, my predictions are right. And although I also predicted Leon Edwards to knock out Kamaru Usman in their second fight, like the fight in which Leon became champion. So, I know a couple of things about UFC, I must say, and I predict fights right. So I will say this. That is why I say that when Robert Whittaker knocked out Ikram Aliskerov, I was so happy, because, like, it just felt so real, because Robert Whittaker accepted this fight under such a pressure. Like, it was like if he didn't win, it was like all over of Robert Whittaker becoming champion again, or it was just the end of everything, for Robert Whittaker. It was end of him being a top level middleweight. If he have lost that fight, it just felt like it was building up to Robert Whittaker losing this fight, because he just lost his last fight. I mean, not last fight, but previous to that, where he was fighting someone who is now the champion, in terms of Dricus du Plessis. But Robert Whittaker knocked him out. It was most satisfying thing to see, and it was the same uppercut that Hamza Chimaev landed. And now I want to see Robert Whittaker fight for the championship. I think he deserves it. I think he should fight the winner of Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. Maybe third time lucky against Adesanya, or maybe second time. We will see who will win against Dricus du Plessis and Robert Whittaker. I think he should win against Dricus du Plessis easily. That's what I thought. But Dricus du Plessis proves all of us wrong with his this boxing style. We never know. Like, he's just, I mean, effective. That's the word for Dricus du Plessis. He's just effective. I don't know how. Nobody knows how, even though I don't think his coaches even know how. So that's it for this video. That's what we do in this channel. We talk about martial arts, we talk about UFC, we talk about football, we talk about things that get me excited in a good way. There's a link to my Patreon. This is just a way to keep my channel, like, keep this is just a way to keep, like, things interesting. It's not like my primary source of income or something like that. I just do it for fun because there are many people with, like, your channel's going nowhere. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to have people who comment there and just have a conversation with someone who likes martial arts as much as me. Because in my real life, I'm not joking, in my real life I have no friends who watch UFC, who I have no friends who watch martial arts. you know I'm a doctor. So it's just crazy. So, I mean, I don't know why people don't watch UFC. It's one of the best things in the world. I don't know why they don't. So if you like such content, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.